Today, we're going to be looking at the brand new Session Bassist Icon bass, and this is by far my favorite sounding VST bass instrument ever. One thing that I want to mention off the top is that they're offering a sale right now until May 1st. If you purchase it before then, you get 50% off any additional session bassist or session guitarist. And of course, I do have an affiliate link in the description. So if you're thinking about checking this out, maybe grabbing it, helps out the channel if you use that link. All right, so here we are in Machine with Icon Bass opened up. And if you're not familiar with the interface, essentially there are two banks. One of them is melodies and one of them is patterns. So if you look on the front of the GUI here, we have the pattern section. All of the presets are going to have their own patterns loaded into it already. And if you click the little piano icon here, you can see as well that it lists where the patterns are, as well as a couple different endings and slides. So when you first load a preset up, just hold down one of the notes. And it's going to start playing the pattern for as long as you hold that note. And if you hold it, you can switch through and it's going to seamlessly play the patterns for you. One of the things that I love here is this octave down button. So if I'm playing this pattern, click this, bass face engaged. Moving over to the bass settings tab, you can see that you can control your DI signal as well as the mic signal, which is going to be miking the amplifier, and some cool parameters here like the noise from the frets, the floor noise, tuning. So we dive into the amps and effects. You're going to see a couple of different amps and cab setups here, but when you go into the cabinet section here, you can also get a list of different cabinets to choose from. So the next most important thing after the pattern section is going to be the playback. You can see right here we have a humanized knob. Again, this really just helps control the realism of it. Dial it all the way up to the original, which is going to be the original recording of the samples. Or you can pull it back a little bit and even go all the way down to quantize. I almost always tend to have it closer to the original just to get that realistic sound. And you can add some swing to it. You also have the ability to switch the tempo to halftime or double time, which is great because you can automate this. Oh, all right. So I'm going to run you through the demo track here, and I want you to pay attention to the automation, which I'm going to point out on the screen. But one thing that I want to say here is that when I went into this, I was telling myself, you know what, I think I'm going to make a Rage Against the Machine style track. And sure enough, you can tell by some of the names of the presets and the patterns that they already had Rage Against the Machine in mind when they were making this. Now, one of the great things about this plugin, which to me is what makes a plugin of any type great, is that you have the ability to just load it up and get instant inspiration. So it has over 200 patterns, 54 song presets, and all those patterns and the sequences are very playable. And the second part of what makes a plugin good is that you can go beyond that, just load it up and play with it and dig deeper to really create the most realistic bass line that you want. They include everything in the samples, including the different articulations, you know, the pops, the slaps, the fingers and picking sounds. You got open and muted notes, dead notes, harmonics, all kinds of transitions, pull-offs, and hammer-ons. I'm playing on my complete control keyboard here, and I'll play through those ones that I showed you on the keyboard too. So here's that percussion sound. So you can end your loop with that if you want. And then let's say that the pattern that you're using has a held note in it and you want to add some vibrato to it. So you can go ahead and do that with the mod wheel. Now, maybe instead of the vibrato, we wanted to emphasize the intensity of that last note, so we can use the pitch wheel for that. Now let's run through some of the presets so you get a good idea of what kind of sounds that are actually in this. The great thing about when you're browsing through the presets is that you actually hear some of the patterns. That right there, when I heard that sound, immediately sparked something for me, and you can check out what I did with that in the video right here.